Days of Our Lives spoilers. Maggie gives Holly tough love. Rachel shocks Thomas while Paulina scolds EJ. In the ever-turbulent world of Salem, where love is a battlefield and secrets are the currency of power, this week promises a seismic shift in several core relationships. The days ahead are not for the faint of heart, as seasoned matriarchs take a stand, long-buried truths threaten to surface, and the next generation begins to wield their own brand of emotional chaos. In a gripping series of events, Maggie Horton proves that compassion has its limits. Rachel Black takes a page from her mother's playbook to devastating effect, and Paulina Price reminds everyone who truly holds the reins in Salem's power structure. Maggie's necessary medicine, a dose of reality for Holly. For months, the Horton household has been walking on eggshells around Holly Jonas, the once vibrant teenager, grappling with the trauma of her near-death experience and the subsequent manipulation by the late Megan Hathaway, has been cocooned in a cloud of resentment and self-pity. While her mother, Nicole, and her steadfast grandfather, Roman, have advocated for patience and gentle understanding, Maggie Horton has reached her limit. Spoilers indicate that Maggie will corner Holly after another outburst, this time directed at Tate's parents, Brady and Teresa. The scene is set not in anger, but in a firm, grandmotherly love that Holly has been desperately lacking. Maggie, a woman who has survived more loss and tragedy than most Salemites combined, will deliver a long overdue lesson in perspective. Maggie looks at Holly and doesn't just see a troubled teen. She sees a young woman on a dangerous path, one that could lead to a point of no return, a source close to the show reveals. She acknowledges Holly's pain, but she refuses to let it become an excuse for cruelty. Maggie reminds her that while she was a victim, her actions also victimized others, particularly Tate, who is now paying the price for a crime he didn't commit. This won't be a simple scolding. Maggie will recount her own darkest moments, the loss of her children, her struggles with alcoholism, the betrayals she's endured and overcome. She will impress upon Holly that trauma is not a free pass to inflict pain, but a challenge to be met with resilience. This tough love approach is a gamble. It could push Holly further away, or it could be the jarring wake-up call she needs to begin a genuine healing process. The outcome will hinge on whether Holly is mature enough to hear the hard truth from a woman who embodies the Horton legacy of strength through adversity. The apple doesn't fall far. Rachel's bombshell for Thomas. Meanwhile, in the Di-Mera mansion, a different kind of storm is brewing, one with the potential to shatter the fragile peace that Brady Black and Teresa Donovan have fought so hard to maintain. Their daughter, Rachel, has always been a chip off the old block, possessing her father's passion and her mother's cunning in equal measure. Having witnessed the constant tension between her parents and the looming presence of Tate's incarceration, Rachel has decided to take matters into her own hands. The target of her scheme, none other than Thomas Di-Mera, the sweet-natured son of Sarah and Xander. Thomas, who shares an innocent, childhood friendship with Rachel, is completely unprepared for the hurricane about to hit him. In a move that would make her mother proud, Rachel will drop a shocking revelation designed to manipulate the situation to her advantage. The exact nature of this shock is being closely guarded, but insiders suggest it revolves around the complex web of parentage that defines so many lives in Salem. Rachel is clever. She's overheard snippets of adult conversations about the past, whispers about Xander's history, about Sarah's time away, about the constant doubt that lingers around so many familial bonds in Salem. The source explains. She pieces together a half-truth or a manufactured lie and presents it to Thomas as fact, knowing it will cause maximum disruption. This act is not born of malice toward Thomas, but rather a desperate, misguided attempt to destabilize her parents' lives enough that they might refocus their attention on freeing Tate, whom Rachel views as her only stable connection. The consequences, however, will be immediate and severe. Thomas, confused and hurt, will likely confront his parents, forcing Sarah and Xander to confront ghosts they believed were long buried. This single act by a child will send ripples through the Dimera, Kyriakis, and Brady families, proving that in Salem, the most devastating truths and lies often come from the most unexpected sources. Paulina versus EJ, a clash of titans and ideologies. If Maggie's confrontation is about family and Rachel's is about manipulation, then the impending showdown between Paulina Price and EJ Dimera is a pure, unadulterated clash of titans. The issue at hand is the future of the Spectator. Since reacquiring the newspaper from Xander, EJ has returned to his old ways, using the publication as a blunt instrument for personal vendettas and political maneuvering. His latest target is, unsurprisingly, anyone who stands in the way of his ambition, which increasingly includes figures connected to the Horton and Brady families. Paulina, as Salem's mayor and a woman who has built a media empire from the ground up, is not having it. She gave EJ a second chance at the helm with the explicit understanding that he would act with a degree of integrity. His recent actions have demonstrated anything but. Spoilers indicate that Paulina will summon EJ to the mayor's office for a dressing down that will be heard throughout the corridors of power. This is more than a scolding, it's a power play, the source says. Paulina reminds EJ exactly where his authority begins and ends. She financed his return. She can just as easily pull the plug. She's disgusted by his misuse of the press and his willingness to tear down decent people for a headline. Paulina's tirade will touch on everything from his treatment of his wife, Nicole, during the Holly crisis, to his unethical reporting on the Titan and basic black business dealings. She will accuse him of betraying the memory of his father, Stefano, who, for all his evil, understood the power of reputation and loyalty. EJ, ever the arrogant aristocrat, will likely fire back, questioning Paulina's own ethics, perhaps bringing up her past deception regarding her health and Lonnie's true paternity. This confrontation is a philosophical battle for the soul of Salem itself. Is the town to be run by EJ's cynical, self-serving machinations, or can Paulina's brand of fierce, familial loyalty prevail? The ripple effect, a city on the brink. Individually, each of these storylines packs a powerful punch. Together, they weave a tapestry that illustrates the interconnectedness of life in Salem. Maggie's intervention with Holly is directly tied to the crime that put Tate in jail, which is the very incident fueling Rachel's manipulation of Thomas. And EJ's actions at the Spectator are undoubtedly linked to his frustrations with the Brady-Kyriakis axis, which includes the very families being torn apart by the younger generation's actions. As the week unfolds, viewers will be left to wonder, can tough love truly break through a teenager's wall of trauma? How will a young boy cope with a world-shattering lie delivered by a friend? And when a mayor draws a line in the sand against a Dimera, who will be left standing? These are the days of our lives, where love must sometimes be tough. The truth is often shocking, and a scolding can change the fate of an entire city. One thing is certain, in Salem, the children are not just the future, they are the catalysts for the present chaos, and the elders are ready to fight fire with a lifetime of earned wisdom.